You connected? Hello? Hello, hello? Hello, hello?
Yes, you have to be.
Oh, yeah.
That. I've never used, so I'm not sure.
Honestly, you guys are good, but I can just go to the YouTube channel, see if you're talking on there.
But I should be away from. Yeah. Well, because there's two mics there. There's a mic there. I don't know if that picks up stuff or it's just.
My God.
This is flashing, so I don't know.
They were like,
Does that mean anything?
they sold with a huge
You should bring that up to me.
I think I lied. Yeah. I think
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
It means more because they.
Flashing.
Oh, okay. Well, I can go out here, I guess, and see.
Yeah.
People your.
Yes.
Your brushing your teeth.
Right.
Come on. You're gonna.
Oh, good morning. Can you, is it working? Okay.
So we can all print, yeah, you show something, maybe like we can be.
Well, try this. You hear, if I mute myself here,
I think there's not.
can you hear?
I'm sure there's some people who keep it, so it's like. It isn't complicated.
It is.
So it's like, it's daunting to.
Yes, at least put that together.
For sure, yeah. I would love that.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Some. You know, where they have a voice actors. Playing, that like, it's kind of.
Oh, is that a lag?
I didn't.
It's about a 15-second delay.
Oh, okay.
For sure. It should be, yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I just heard you say, "Can you hear me?" when you were standing back there.
Yeah, actually.
We'll go with it.
It was clear,
Yeah, great.
but yeah, it's about a 20-ish second delay.
Perfect. Let's try it.
Like, there's a lot of people who never.
But yeah, it also picks up people talking about it. And their conversations,
It's kinda
like,
like-
you're talking into it, you're loud.
Okay.
Than like background conversation.
Perfect.
I want like find out, but
I'm gonna go try to get
that's.
Yeah, if the participation, participants. And do you have one of the books as well?
like the.
I won't give it out. I was just gonna use it, because I think there's a couple places where it references. That.
Right. You have to just be your.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Smiling.
Right.
Hello, hello. This is the Ignite crew today?
I'm scrambling to get here, so. Right.
See who else.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm just messing with you.
you know what I mean, you're gonna start to associate.
Right.
What?
I mean, to them.
Good morning.
I didn't miss it.
And music hurts.
Yeah.
Perfect. And we're gonna see they all have them printed or not.
Get started on your classes. So I haven't studied, it's not. It's all coming.
Everybody good? Doing well?
Yeah.
We'll give it a couple more minutes, just due to realtor time usually, so. Does everybody have a participant guide? Did you guys print anything off in preparation? Okay. I think she's working on printing the first session for you guys. My understanding, they do have from session 2 on, you'll print your own, or you can, I think Lindsay has a few of these left that you can purchase. I think they're $30 if I recall. So, but we're gonna get, she's got the guides coming for you, so be just a second.
And that's exactly what we're.
Right, okay.
Oh,
There's all kinds of.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just get started. Huh? Okay, perfect. All good. All right, I'll get going. All right, we'll get started. They're printing off a couple packets for you guys right now to get going. Are we all in the right place? Day 1 Ignite, spark your career, right? You think so? Okay. I just wanted to start off with kind of going around. I know a few of your faces, but not everybody. And I just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves. For those of you that don't know me, my name is James Harris. I'm an agent with the Chabris Group. I've been licensed for, I guess, since 2014 as a part-time agent, got licensed full-time or joined the Chabris Group in 2016. Worked my way up, listing specialist, sales manager, director of sales, and now kind of run the day-to-day as executive director. What else? Why did I get into real estate? I was a part-time agent, did the Air Force thing for about 13 years and flipped a few properties and caught the bug. And Peter cold called me one day and the rest is history. So here we are. So if you guys don't mind going around, just introduce yourself, what got you into real estate, how long you've been licensed, just so we kind of have an understanding and go from there. Big guy team.
All right, so I'm Cameron Wilcox and I've been an agent since 2017. I've been licensed since 2017, part-time. I just joined the Chabris team back in February as a full-time agent. still working through the intense training program that they offer, but it's been pretty good. But what got me into real estate was just I just enjoy helping people, just being like a eye in the middle of a storm when somebody went through the violence of the process. So it just being a respectful person and fiduciary I take that very seriously. So that's what really got me into this.
What did you do before real estate?
So I was in IT, sort of like help desk, stuff like that. And I got laid off at the end of the year and I just said, I'm just gonna jump into it full time.
All in.
So.
Nice, cool. All right, Douglas.
Yeah, I'm Doug. I'm an agent also with the Shree Group, also the launch coordinator for the company. I've been licensed 3 years, but I've been investigating managing real estate about 10 years or so. I'm real estate because I love money, I love suits. I do. I like helping people. That's it.
If you've seen Doug in the pinstripes with the vest and the, yeah, you
I
know.
do like helping people. So I just kind of parlay my background with buy and hold and some flips to options, so just into flips on real estate. Yeah, it's before that I was corporate world. So yeah, it's been blessed.
Nice.
Well, I'm Annie Venerable. I officially come to Keller Williams on Wednesday.
Ah, okay.
I have been in real estate for 11 years, at the same company, so this will be the big move for me, big scary move. I'll be taking over the PC coaching role. Here in the
Yeah.
office. Excited about that.
Awesome.
How did I get into real estate? By a little bit by accident. My husband was like, kept telling me like, oh, you should do this. You should think about getting a real estate license. And I was like, oh. Sales. I was like, sales, that sounds horrible. I don't want to do that.
That came from down here like,
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But then just kept pushing me and I was like, well, I do really like interiors, houses, all those things. So I just kind of went and got my real estate license. I was a part-time agent for like 3 years. And then as soon as I started doing it, I was like, you need sales skill, but it's not really sales at all. It's really just being of service to people. And I really enjoy being of service to people. And yeah, I've met some of the most amazing people. Thing I love about this job, it's just you meet people you never would have met before. And some of them are amazing. Oh, no, it's not great. That's okay.
all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, all shapes
Yeah,
and sizes, for sure. So,
nice.
Hi, I'm Chris. What are we doing? I have been licensed since 2024. I was a teacher in various capacities for about 14 years before that. And why am I here? I like Doug, similar, I guess. But I like not being poor. I think I haven't had that experience with it, so I think I will like it.
Money and suits.
Yeah, and part of it's like if you're a teacher, if you're working 14-hour days, I have this idea that I could get paid for it eventually. So yeah, that's I just joined the TCG team a week ago. I
Last
guess.
week, yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with her. That's all you need to know about me.
Thanks, Lauren. Cool.
And I'm Shannon Zeller. I
What is it? I'm sorry.
Shannon Zeller.
Shannon.
I just came in last week because I am doing a career pivot, I guess.
Okay.
So after 24 years with my previous job, I decided that if I don't get out of there, I will be stuck there until I retire. And I didn't want that to be all that there was to my life. So, which wouldn't have been a bad thing, but I was stuck in an office all day long. I mean, couldn't break out and get away. I couldn't even look out the window. I'm just looking at a monitor all day long. And I just thought I better get out now. So I had already taken and passed the exam in 2021 to 2022 because my husband is a contractor and he wanted to start flipping houses.
Yeah.
And he asked if I would help him.
Yeah.
And I thought, if you think I'm gonna come home after working all day
Yeah.
and pull carpet and clean toilets to flip a house, you're crazy. So I thought I'm gonna get my real estate my realtor's license
Yeah.
and I'll help out.
That'll
with
be your
that.
contribution, yeah.
Yeah, so, but
That's great.
then, that didn't work out with him because he did get sick, he got cancer, but he's all better now.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
he had a great, almost miraculous, a breakthrough there, so he's all
Wow.
better now and, you
That's
know, I
amazing.
thought, trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my life, and I thought, wait a minute. You didn't just pick up where I
That's
was
a
from.
real estate thing, yeah,
Yeah.
that's great, yeah. So who else, yeah, it seems like there's a common thread on the investing side a little bit, I know you've been in that world, it sounds like you've got, that's why I got licensed as well, a buddy and I. You know, we're tired of the grind and we didn't flip a coin, but it was pretty much a coin toss and one of us needed to get licensed and somehow I did it and we failed miserably, we flipped a few. Basically break even and but the one silver lining out of it was getting licensed and moving forward, so yeah, it's cool. Well, good. Well, so today is kind of a intro to Ignite. You guys are kind of embarking on the next 20 days, Monday through Friday, for the next 4 weeks. You'll have to bear with me. This is my first time with this class, but it is really more of just a high level introduction to all things KW, maybe a refresher for some of you. But yeah, definitely looking forward to going through this. It's encouraged, like, I don't want this to be just lecture-ish. We have slide deck to go through. There's a participant guide there, but we can go down any rabbit hole. I don't know if this is being recorded, it's live streamed or whatever, so I don't know if that's okay, but any rabbit hole you guys want to go down, any questions you have, we want to deviate off the material, I'm happy to interject or entertain. Hi, you're okay. Do you have, I don't know if they gave me any extra. Lauren has participant guides, like if you have one, I don't know if you already printed one or not. That way we can get going. But she said, yeah, moving forward, make sure to either pre-print those coming to the other classes, or you can get a full book from Lindsay. I think they're selling those too, so, yep. What else? Let's go here. Here's some telemarketing prompts that I have to hit related to being a telemarketer. We're gonna hit some of those in more detail later. The calendar here, I want to pass this out. You guys may already have this. This is the training calendar for Ignite coming forward, kind of each day and time. This typically is a like a 2-hour session, followed by a 2-hour kind of lead generation, what they call the daily success time. So like I said, today's day one. You'll have several days. I'm not sure who the special guest, so that's exciting. Plan your future, the last day there. Were you guys intending to be here for every extras? Yeah, thank you. Was everybody going to be able to make it, you think, to all the sessions? Is that the plan? Nice, very good. Yep, that's great. Let's keep rolling there. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so as we go through the key objectives with Spark Your Career and just the Ignite program in general is to kind of move you through the different parts of the real estate process and the real estate transaction. I mean, we're starting with real estate expert of choice. That's typically like the first 4 days. We're then moving, I think the second week is moving into lead generation focused and lead follow-up. And then the transaction period, so that's days 14 through 20. And kind of by the goal of Ignite, or by the end of it, is to have a robust value proposition for your business specifically. We're looking to develop a lead gen system. You know, I keep wanting to say TCG. KW is very lead gen centric. You'll find that, I think, you know, if you have been with other brokerages, or even if you haven't, we're very prospecting based and lead generation based. You're going to hear that over and over throughout the course. And a lot of that is hinged out of if you're familiar with the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the MREA book, the Big Red book, if you've heard of that. If you haven't, I would definitely get a copy. I think they probably have copies here. We can get out to you guys as well. But so that's part of the lead gen system. the next piece is really establishing that lead follow-up system based on the KW touch plan. So we're going to be hitting on KW command a little bit later. There are action plans or smart plans within that allow you to help with that lead follow-up, because that is the name of this business. That's the name of the game. And then lastly is just practicing and perfecting the steps of the real estate transaction. Because the whole goal here, as we, as Doug so eloquently put it, it's making money, right? And the suits that you wear, right, Doug? That's what it's all about. Yeah. So, again, the goals here to end, we want to end Ignite with, it says one or more appointments. I would challenge, it seems like each of us, no one is brand new here, right? Celeste, you didn't get a chance to introduce yourself. I don't know. No, you're okay. For context, how long have you been licensed? How long have you been in the business?
21.
Okay,
I've been with Keller 3 years.
okay.
And kind of my experience just in the business is that it's up and down. And I think a big part of that is that I lack the kind of consistency I should have. And I like to attend classes because I keep thinking one day it's just gonna click in and I'm just gonna start doing it. But that's my goal,
Yeah.
to just get to a place where I'm more consistent.
Yeah.
I had my best year yet last year, which was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
I want to just keep going in that trajectory.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah.
Well, you made a great point. What, I guess, by mentioning your goal of this class and just going through Ignite in general, what does anybody else, what are the other goals for being here? Do you guys have anything in particular?
Like Keller Williams world is vast.
Yeah,
And so I'm really going through this to integrate myself a little bit.
Yeah.
As much as I can, start understanding.
all the
everything.
moving parts, all the
Yeah.
pieces. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, anybody else? Is that kind of pretty much the same for everybody?
Well, and I think that speaks a lot to like, depending on where you're coming from. If you're coming from a brokerage where you don't have the education like Keller Williams gives us. It can seem overwhelming, but
Yeah,
I think all these systems are put into play for our ultimate success, and that's all Gary wants. He wants our success.
Yeah.
And so, that's why I say I'm a Keller Williams lifer. I'll never leave Keller Williams.
That's great. I love that. Well, good. So, yeah, so again, the goal, I think, as you guys mentioned, is great. I think it's also, the intention by the end of this, if you actually, do the classes, but also do that the daily success habits, which is that back end lead gen session. The intention is to create some opportunity out of this as well. This isn't just supposed to be lecture, just concepts and background and history or whatever. It really should be to create some action and get some momentum and create ideally a sale through the class and through the course over the next month. So. Okay, so as we go through, we're going through real estate expert of choice. So the 4 lessons that are going to set you on that path with direction, clarity, enthusiasm. So getting acquainted with KW is a key thing. We're going to be applying KW culture and get to know the Market Centers culture. We're going to be tapping into all the KW resources. And then we're also going to be creating a vision for future and setting goals. I think that's a big thing that KW changed in me, and really just being a part of this world. I think it's what, KW did for Peter, and then by extension has, impacted my life. It's just like seeing what's possible and really seeing the opportunity. And truly it's changed the trajectory, I think, for my family, my kids, my wife. And so I think like being able to, we're going to be kind of all over the place a little bit with concepts and things, but I think that's kind of keeping that vision of like, what do you want out of this? And no, it's not just about dollars. And that's certainly, what is the phrase, like money is good for the money, the good that money can do, or something like that. I probably butchered that. Who's that quote from, Doug? You probably know.
I think money it's money is it's an incredible servant, but a terrible master.
Yeah.
So if you base your life around money where it's control of you, it's
Yeah.
terrible. Like using it as a tool, as a resource, you
Yeah.
do so much good. Family and community, all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, today will be a little bit longer. There won't be a lead gen time at the end, but we'll go quick. And like I said, any questions, especially with some new KW faces here, like feel free to dig in and ask those questions. Ignite is really intended to instill truly like a new way of thinking about this. It's about having a success mindset. We're going to talk about having an unlimited mindset, and really that's going to key around this concept of the 6 personal perspectives. I don't know if you guys have heard that. There's a specific class, Doug, I believe you teach that class, right? Yeah. So we won't go that deep in it today, but that is definitely going to be something we touch on, because it's a key component to KW culture. It's also getting to know the value of working with KW and within the market center, all those resources, like I mentioned, to kind of set you up for success, the career vision, also, you know, that daily success system. I mean, Celeste, that may be something, I don't know if you've done Ignite before, but talking about putting things into action and that consistency, I think those daily success habits can be a real key in that, and really for all of us. All right, so this is a quote from Gary. And you know, if you're not familiar, well, I think is anybody not familiar with Gary Keller now? Okay. You're like a plant, are you?
He's like,
It's like, I'm not, yeah. Right. So this is Keller Williams, Gary Keller. I don't know if he's probably taller, I think, maybe than that.
always wears black.
Right, exactly. That is the uniform,
That's his
right?
uniform.
He avoids decision fatigue with that. But this is one of his quotes. And his team and he published books. You know, he is the founder, well, I guess co-founder. The Williams side of it is no longer involved in the company, but co-founder of Keller Williams and executive chairman of KWX, which is our holding company for Keller Williams and all the different divisions. You know, I would say he is not the oracle, but he's like I don't know, he has just been the standard voice across all of real estate for years and years. Even the books, even people, I mean, all the like organizations and brokerages have been touched by some impact of not just him, but just Keller Williams models and practices. Other brokerages have stemmed out of it. Top Keller Williams teams or agents that have left and started other organizations, like EXP, for example, being one of them. You know, it's just he's been at the center of kind of predicting where the market's going. There are some great books that he and his team have authored over the years. Like I said, it's definitely worth hashing out and getting into. The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. There's a great book called The One Thing that he and Jay Papasan co-wrote, which not just real estate specific, but is an amazing book around, you know, being hyper-focused and focusing on one thing at a time, really. And, you know, it gets into time management and blocking and all those things, but it's really a phenomenal book. Others include Shift, which we've just went through with TCG Book Club, which is talking about how to handle a shifting market, which I feel like nowadays it's always shifting. There's no stability really. So it's a great book to refresh on as well. But, you know, like he said, you know, so real estate, it is a wonderful business, and obviously there's a lot of money that can be made. You know, you can build a big business, achieve your dreams, but like, as it says, the quote, anyone can do it. Not everyone will you? Any thoughts on that? Does anybody have any thoughts, comments on that phrase or that quote?
Yeah, so for me, like, I look at some of our top people at TC2, right? Like Ethan Bishop, Tyler Deeds, Stacy. The way I see it is, we all have the same market, we're all part of the same brokerage, like, all of the same circumstances, right? Shipping market, but like, you know, they're obviously proof that they can do it, so like, anyone can.
Yeah.
I mean, I came in, I'm still kind of working my ways up the wrong, but, you know, I'm in shy, soft spoken, but my numbers have over, you know, the last few years, improved, you know, again, you look at them on the chart, but yeah, I just think anyone can do it truly. And what I love about real estate is there's so many different forms of lead generation of houses, cold calls, phone knocking, networking, like, yeah, once you find your niche, just digging deep and dig your well deep rather than small. So that's at least what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, it's kind of like the barrier to get into real estate is pretty low, right? I mean, I think, you know, well, now it's even easier, right? I think I like to, you know, in 2014, back when I got in, you had to actually go to class. You had to put a butt in your chair, you know, put your butt in the chair in a classroom at Hondros or whatever it may be, but with the 120 hours and a couple $1,000 you're in. And what's interesting is like, there's so many different levels of success within that business or achievement. I mean, the average agent, I don't know what the stats are up to now. I think the average agent sells 4 to 5 homes a year annually. And then you have agents that are selling, hundreds or building large teams. So it's just a matter of, kind of maximizing. And it also depends on what your goal is too. Not everybody is here to achieve and build the Chabris group or whatever. That comes with complexity and headache as well sometimes as well. So
Here, it's a decision.
what's that?
What I'm hearing this quote is a decision.
Yeah,
Or it also depends on like, what is your determination,
right.
right? Are you really, like you say, you wanna sell one house a year, or do you wanna
Right.
sell 100?
Well, I think that's what's amazing about it. I mean, anyone can do it. It can mean a lot of things, but if you're also, I think that's what's important about the vision piece. If you're not clear on the vision that you see of it, it's hard to know. I mean, if you set that, whether it's a certain thing for your family or a certain lifestyle, or not staring at cubicles or not staring at the monitor for the next however many years. I mean, I think that's kind of what led me out of, love the Air Force, enjoyed that time. But on the civil service side, locked in a vaulted room for, 10 hours a day. And I can working side by side with the gentleman who was, twice my age, ready for retirement. I could see the writing on the wall of like what my future was as well. So, because similarly, this was like, I had a different path, a different vision, and had a different goal of that. So, yeah. Okay, so getting into the 6 personal perspectives. So in your participant guide on page, is that 1.3?
Yep.
You guys have that? Okay. So these are, according to KW, these are the keys to success and abundance. The 6 personal perspectives. These are the ways successful people who've come before us think and approach problems or challenges. It's about the mindset of success. These came out of Gary's research. So he did, I mean, with his books, he typically does like years and years of preparation and research. And the MREA book specifically came of him interviewing top teams, top realtors, top groups across not just KW, but other brokerages as well. And that research is what he gleaned down. And this is some of the information that was pulled out of that. So by researching those successful people in all different types of fields, this is what he found. And he was asking this question: what is it that differentiates those that who achieve, what is it that differentiates those who achieve at the highest level from those who don't seem to accomplish as much? And so from those answers, they discovered these were the common perspectives. They work together, they don't stand alone, and they work most effectively in the order shown. So really embracing, getting to know these and committing to these perspectives. And that's why there's a full-blown, what is that, a 4-hour class, Douglas, on
As much as an 8-hour, but I condense it using the 3 hours.
3 to 8 hour class on these perspectives, specific to helping you achieve, success in life and in business as well. So the first we'll get into is committing to self-mastery. This is what all high achievers share, is that they commit to self-mastery. Notice it's not commit to mastery, it's commit to self-mastery. The difference really being self-mastery is the possession of great knowledge, skills, habits that make you a master of you. So it's not just, again, committing to mastery, it's more of your own self. So when you commit to achieving self-mastery, you know your goals, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you know how to work with both your strengths and weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. So throughout Ignite, we're going to be kind of working on acquiring those skills, developing habits to work towards that. Have you guys done anything like that before in any other classes? Have you focused on anything related to self-mastery or in any other industry? Or how does that show up in your real estate business currently?
Bold, I did bold.
Bold, okay.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about my habits, my personal, there's a lot of reflection on habits that you choose that you think are working and they're not, So that was definitely something that was life changing for me.
Yeah. Absolutely. Anybody else?
I mean, I
What-
think, when I think of self-mastery, I think of having a high level of, um. what's the word? Like. Just being able to look at myself, like decisions that I've made, actions that I've taken. I guess it's not self-discovery, but like. Being honest with yourself.
Like self-awareness or
That's
self-awareness?
Self-awareness.
Yeah,
I have learned through this business that having a high level of self-awareness is both painful, but incredibly necessary. Because it's just, it doesn't feel good when something goes wrong or whatever, and ends up being your fault to like, one, not internalize it and let it just destroy you.
yeah,
But being able to like learn something from it, just accept that it happened and to learn something from it. I feel like having high level self-awareness is key in this job. You gotta be great at it.
yeah, I mean, it's easy. I think in this business, it's easy, especially when you start to get a little bit of traction, a little bit of success, some wins there, and the ego can kind of creep a little bit. And I think there is, I mean, having a healthy amount of ego is important as a salesperson, as a self-motivated, we're all self-employed, we make our own schedule. And, I think the self-awareness piece is key as well, like recognizing where your skills are, where they need improvement, like when you make a mistake. I mean, certainly what is the phrase? There are no deals, only ordeals. I mean, each of our transactions, there's always something you're learning new, and I think that the self-awareness is key to that. Yeah. So I think that's great. I think self-mastery is also not just specific to real estate skills or business skills. I mean, it can be your health, it can be your morning schedule, it can be your sleep, it can be how you communicate to your family, your kids, or yourself. Frankly, your own self-talk, I think, is a form of like something you can work on and master. So that's great. The next piece, well, I was going to say this is what I feel is most important, but they're all important. The second perspective is committing to the 80-20 principle. And so this is the idea that 20% of your actions leads to 80% of your results. And this is probably one of the most important things. I think being successful within real estate, recognizing this concept and being able to apply it to your business, because you're going to get pulled in all the different like directions by all the shiny objects, whether it be marketing products, it could be training opportunities, it could be the deal that's going sideways. And so recognizing like what actions are most important. This is a key one. What would you guys assume or guess is the most dollar productive activity of a real estate agent? Of all
Well, so for me, it's door knocking.
Like, whatever you're,
form of, so lead gen, yeah, so whatever your form of lead gen. Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the key. It really, if you don't have that in some form or fashion, you really won't have a business, even long term, even if you are completely 100% referral based. If you're not doing there is a form of lead generation, even within creating referrals from your sphere and from past clients, whether it's, you're doing some sort of marketing activities, but usually it's not just passive, right? It needs to be something outbound. And I think the core one that our team is built on is just those quarterly calls and check-ins. There's other pieces and parts to that, but that is truly like the 20% that yields the 80% of the results. So the third perspective is E2P. And so this is one of the concepts covered in the MREA. That's the third perspective. It's the top performers recognize and understand how to move from being E, which is entrepreneurial, to P, which is purposeful. All of us can obtain a certain level of success, like using our natural abilities. And I think that's what a lot of us are drawn into real estate is just as entrepreneurs, as, you know, self-motivated, as business owners, we kind of make our own way and do our own thing. And I think our natural abilities will carry us so far, whether we're, you know, depending on personality style, we're hyper aggressive, maybe we're very social, whatever it may be. But what at a certain point, you know, based on this, we all reach kind of a natural ceiling of achievement. And this may have been even before you got into real estate, you know, your natural skills and abilities carried you so far. And I think that that's what it's a good, it's kind of an aha, I think, around how to, at a certain point, every one of our businesses will reach this threshold of like your natural customer service skills, your natural sales skills, your natural social, you know, sociability will carry you, but then you have to move into more of a purposeful kind of plan around that. So let's see. What does it mean to get purposeful? So this is really key in on, and KW is really keen on models and systems, and you're going to hear that over and over through Ignite and just beyond. Like we're constantly putting out. I thought there was a handout. Playbooks. Oh, it was right here. There's constantly like, instead of agents reinventing the wheel, which we love to do, like here's one of the playbooks. Like KW is consistently, you know, pulling best practices from other top performers, top agents, and creating systems and models from it. That's, you know, again, that's what the team was built on. Another great resource would be the MREA podcast. If you guys are podcast listeners, definitely check that out. They're constantly pulling in and gleaning playbooks from those people. So that's what the key of being purposeful is really implementing those models and systems. Does anybody have like an example of when they kind of reached a ceiling of achievement, whether it was in this business or maybe something prior to?
Yeah, I feel like I have been at a ceiling for like the last 3 years. I
Okay.
can't seem consistent results.
Yeah.
And like, great, but I'm like, I can't seem to like tip it right over this like edge that I've been trying to get to.
Yeah. Is that related to your real estate business?
Yes.
Like sale, like units and volume and
Mhm.
just growth? Okay. Got it. Okay. Do you, and so is that kind of what led to the move, you think? Part of it?
No,
Okay.
not really. I think
Okay.
it's like a laundry.
All the
list of
things?
lot of
Yeah.
Laundry
Yeah.
activities.
We don't have to get into it. I was just,
Yeah.
well, it was just from a ceiling, so is there a way you've been going about trying to tackle that
Yeah,
ceiling
it's-
achievement, like
it's
to change that?
It's, I think it's like a price point. It's like a price point thing. I mean, on average, I would say for maybe like the last 5 years, I'm at like 25 to 35.
Units?
Units
Okay.
a year, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to get over this like, you know, dollar amount made in a year. And I know that it has to do with like average price point.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
So it's just trying to figure out, and I can see it naturally progressing.
Yeah.
Because I would say last time I looked at it, like 89% of my business, like 90% of my business does come from referrals from past clients and stuff like that. So I can see the natural progression of that. Just because as people move, whatever, you know, I think there are all, like a handful of clients that haven't retained like over the
Yeah.
last 11 years, but I'm like, I can't figure out how to like push it into
Yeah.
like a higher price.
Well, and that's where I think like you could, you know, 25 to 35 units, that's, you know, and it's happening not organically, you're obviously putting in the work, but you mentioned the word it's kind of naturally growing. But the next level would be like, is there a specific plan or system or model or example of somebody, an intentional way of raising your average sale price, whether that be moving into, you know, it's like having a specific action plan with some accountability, somebody holding you to that, or a partner or somebody holding you to that accountability of implementing certain actions to put yourselves in those rooms, whether it's networking, certain clubs, certain BNIs, or it could be neighborhoods that you choose to farm. But that's all a model, that's all a system that you can implement and just step by step do it. It will, I think, generally most of our businesses the longer you're in real estate, if you're consistent, naturally, I think the business will, well, one, average sale price will increase over time. But also our databases mature as well. And so typically those people that we help buy their first home, when they're ready to sell, that house is gonna be more expensive and then they're gonna probably be trading up. So it will naturally happen to your point, but I think that's kind of what the point of it, instead of it being more of like, whatever's happening is happening, I'm gonna have a more intentional, specific plan to be more purposeful in raising that average sale price if that's your goal. Because you don't necessarily want to sell more houses per se.
That's a big
Right,
part.
exactly, right, exactly. Well, there's a plan for that. Not today, it's not in today's class. Yeah, there is a plan. That's great. That was a great example. So the next perspective, the fourth perspective, yeah, so this is an obvious one, and obviously you guys are here today, and that's being learning based. I think that this is probably more important than ever. I mean, I feel like there's a fine line, in my opinion, with, because there's so much training available, especially with KW. I mean, I think real estate training, there's tons happening, and KW has a lot happening as well. And you guys are on this, over the next 4 weeks have committed to doing this, and I think you should absolutely do that. But there is a fine line where training can become, like all you're doing, you're so focused on that, and you're the most amazing student that didn't go and actually do anything. So be careful with that. But learning based, I think, is key, because right now I feel like the market is constantly changing. There's so much tools and tech and AI and systems, and there's so much opportunity to learn things. So if you're not learning based, very quickly you can kind of get left behind, I think, a little bit. So this is the key. And I think this goes back to that self-mastery piece. They kind of go hand in hand. Like, you have to be kind of a lifelong learner in order to be successful and stay on top of it for your clients. So, what else am I supposed to say here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, I love this. The learning-based individual appreciates learning for their own improvement. They know what they know, and they know there is always more to know. An individual who does not appreciate learning is what's referred to as ignorance-based instead of learning-based. They know what they know and ignore everything else. So there you go. Here's a quote. This is from Albert Einstein. Undoubtedly a learning-based individual. I'm either especially clever nor especially gifted. I'm only very, very curious. So being learning-based means staying in curiosity and being eager to learn more. I feel like that this is very beneficial too, just from like even communicating with clients. Like, I feel like coming from curiosity in those conversations is like a key thing, because we can very much get into, you'll hear, we're going to talk about scripts, and we're going to talk about, or maybe the more appropriate conversation frameworks. If scripts is, if you're averse to that, but being curious kind of trumps all of it, because, if you're so focused on what you're trying to say and the point that you're trying to get to, and whether that's an appointment or getting them to make a decision, I think a lot of the conversations with clients and co-ops and whoever it may be, it's coming from curiosity. You're just trying to uncover like what their needs are, what's important about that. And that kind of tonality will really serve you as well. But I think that goes back to the learning-based piece also. Perspective number 5, removing your limiting beliefs is the 5th perspective. High achievers remove beliefs that hold them back. So what are limiting beliefs? They're thoughts and mindsets that limit you. Like the ones on the slide, I don't have time for training. I can't be successful in this market. I can't devote 3 hours each day to lead generation. Are there any other, what limiting beliefs do you guys have just around the business or just in general? What do you got, Chris?
I have a lot.
Okay.
How long we got? But no, I just wanted to kind of relate this, because I think in my mind, curiosity is so important for growth mindset. And we started out on a slide about willpower, and I think you can have a lot of willpower, but if you're not willing to embrace some failures and failure through action, then you are going to be limiting yourself because you're not willing to take the feedback that you're getting from the action that you take. And that can be more limiting, I think, than many other things.
That's great. Well said. What else? Does anybody else have any limiting beliefs or
I've
comments?
definitely felt this as a newer agent. I kind of see and I try to send this message to newer agents now, because I realize it wasn't the limiting belief that I thought it was, but a lot of what I always thought at the beginning was like, I don't have the experience as a new agent. And so I can't compete with, these top agents in the area. And I just think that it comes back to being curious and educating yourself and growing as an agent. But there was never a time that I consulted with a client that said, so exactly how many houses have you sold and how long have you been in the business? I'm not saying that doesn't happen,
Sure.
but in my experience, I've never had that happen. And it was a huge limiting belief I had.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's real for, I think all of us. Well, maybe I
Right.
shouldn't speak for
Right.
everybody, but I think
Even now.
agents that I've talked to, I know myself as well, even when I was part-time or even after I wasn't part-time, just getting going. That was in my head that objection was going to come up. And it did from time to time. I think that's why Sphere and database driven businesses are so important, because people typically, those clients care less about that specifically. And it's really about you. It's about the trust. Do they like you, trust you? They don't know that they're not as concerned about those things. I think that is something that will come up in more colder leads when you're doing more prospecting and, people are interviewing or whatever it may be. But I think that's definitely a challenging one. Anybody else? You guys have that?
I
Limiting
think,
belief?
one of the things, when it says I can't devote 3 hours each day to lead generation, when I had my first go around that first year, and I was speaking with my mentor about the lead generation, I was instantly shut down by that. I was like, I don't like that at all. I don't want to do
Sounds
that.
like a terrible word.
But
Lead generation.
yeah, just.
Can we come up with something else?
And I mean, I don't even like Facebook, so that was just horrible to me. But then, like, I got a job position change. I was promoted, and then with that promotion came the opportunity to run for election because my boss was an elected official and he was retiring. So in order to do that, I had to step out. And you want to talk about miserable. Okay, I will gladly do lead generation now. I have no problem. saying
Yeah.
this. Like, I will never run for an elected position. I never want to do that, so.
Lead.
But it's all
piece of cake.
perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And I
great.
think like going into areas too, I feel like, when I wanted to farm an area like Madeira, I'm like, oh my gosh, Euler Hine, Scott Euler Hine dominates that area, like, nobody's gonna listen to me. He has an enormous team, but I sold, the property there. And I continue to generate there, and I found some buyers, so, it has paid off to kind of put that limiting belief aside, and just walk through it.
Yeah. I think I think that we've all, there's so many of us in this business. I forget what the number is up to in Cincinnati. Does anybody know that offhand? It's like 6,000, 6,500. And growing. I thought, not that I wish anybody out of this business, but I thought we might go backwards on those numbers here in the past couple of years because things have gotten a little more challenging. I don't think that's happened. But the reality is, I mean, you're going to have massive teams. You're going to have the Euler Hines, our arch nemesis, but
Yeah.
that we share a parking lot with.
Right.
Regardless, but that's also what's amazing. Like, there's so many opportunities out there. No one team, no one agent of any market is getting all of the market share, because it really just boils back to who do they like, who do they know, who do they trust? It's really just one-to-one relationships. And even the best of us, even TCG with all the marketing and volume and all the things, like, if we don't do the things, we fall out of relationship, people, you know, just drop out of contact or whatever, and then the next thing you know, there's opportunity out there. So I think that, I guess we want to go through this, I think that's a key one to pause on, 1.8 is in the book, is to kind of go through and read through the limiting beliefs, and if there are any that you're really like on 5 and 6, we don't need to do all of these, but like, if there's one that you guys are really keying in on, like, rewrite it, change it to what it could be, turn it to a positive and then flip it, So go through that. We're just gonna take a couple minutes. This is just, I think Celeste, you had a really good one. I think that's a good one that you mentioned. So let's knock that out. We're on, did you find it? Okay.
Yeah. Meant to bring my book, but
This over. 11?
You're another hour.
You can go fast. No, we could
I
go
know, it
faster.
is hard. You-
Okay,
I'm gonna-
we'll go faster. Well, 'cause I was here at 9. I was like, is this 9 to 11? And then Lindsay was like, no, 9:30 to 11. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be 3 hours. The thing says 3 hours. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, we're gonna go faster.
You got several pages.
Anybody want to share real quick on that? Or have we get it? I think what's interesting, I think about the limiting beliefs and flipping those to like unlimited, but also it's like there's a training, there's a skill, there's usually something tied to it. So even like some of the examples, I have to be an expert and know everything before I can begin my business. I mean, certainly that's not true, but also there's things within that if you have concern, a lot of it's just preparation and focus on training. If you don't know what to say to someone when you get a live one on the phone, that's something you should probably practice or learn. And now I think like, I mean, I don't want to keep talking about AI, but like that as a training tool is like a game changer. I don't know if any of you are utilizing talking to AI, like loading your prompts in, loading your scripts in, you can chat with it, it can give you objection, you can load your calls in, like there's all kinds of opportunity, but I mean, and that would just be one limiting belief, but there's a lot of opportunity there. So, all right, keep going. Be accountable is number 6, and that's the last one. What does being accountable mean to you guys? Anybody want to share?
Do we,
I would say part,
what you say?
I mean, just in the 60 days that I've been with this regroup, that's a pretty hefty message that they push. Obviously, you're not doing lead generation. You're not gonna get leads. And I always, previously, I mean, I always thought that somebody was just gonna hand me a lead. I was always waiting on that call from a family friend or whoever it was. And that's not coming anymore.
Yeah.
So it takes making the call. So I just think that just being accountable, waking up, making the calls. James stresses me to go through the 1 through 8, which I struggle with, like what she said down there. I didn't want to do with lead generation, but it has paid off. So I have gotten some leads from it. So yeah, accountability is a big thing in this business. I think if you follow the scripts that they give, you will be successful. Whether it takes a year, 2 years, or 3 years, I think it'll pay off.
Thanks. Anybody else have anything? Accountability?
I mean, I think it's the self-awareness piece, like living in reality, acknowledging it, owning it.
Yep.
Figure it out, and then get on with it.
I'll
Yeah.
just keep getting in that cycle, right? So we should do that too.
Yeah. Yeah, like it, I think it's an I like its comments here. It's an attitude, it's an approach to your entire life. An accountable person says everything in my life is a result of my choices and actions. I own my life. I think that kind of ties back to, we don't really talk about being a victim or victim language, but when you can take accountability, you're owning the results of whatever's happening around you rather than, I think it gives you power. I think it's powerful, right? You're not You know, you're not just a result of your circumstances that are happening. Yes, bad things happen, but also like how how you handle that, your mindset, your actions, your mentality, your attitude, I think are all within your control. It's easier said than done, of course, but um, so a person who's accountable and in their 20% says, I own my life, and in certain areas, I want to continually improve my results. I will be purposeful and I will be learning based to continue improving. So that's again what kind of Ignite is built around to help cultivate that accountability. Ways to be accountable. Let's see. Yeah, so I think like a few of them being accountable to this class specifically would be going through your Ignite assignments. If you've got an accountability partner, I know that the daily success system is set up to be kind of self-service at the back end of this starting tomorrow. But I would recommend get an accountability partner, like pair up, stick around here for 2 hours, hour and a half, however long it takes you to hit your goals and do the calls, do the scripting, the practice, the role play, and go through that. Okay. All right. Another quote, happiness is not an individual sport. That's Sean Anker. I'm gonna go faster because we're running out of time here. This quote comes from Sean Anker, who pioneered research, reveals happy humans are more productive, creative, better at problem solving, and even healthier and less stressed. Would you agree that these outcomes lead to better business success? So embrace being accountable, find a mentor, coach, or partner to help you be accountable. Is anybody experiencing that? Like, when they got in this business, like feeling like you were kind of on an island? Just me? Okay, great.
Initially,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all do,
yeah, it's
starting out.
a little bit isolating. I think that's also like the myth around being like self-employed and self-starter and working from home is not all it's cracked up to be. And like, I think that was, being a part of a team-oriented brokerage and also just a part of a team certainly helped, or finding people that do those things, like lead genning, like by yourself at home, trying to make the calls and getting rejected and all the things is brutal. Doing that with people and seeing them win or fail and hearing that is a lot more enticing and energetic. And I think it lends itself to that as well. So any ahas just from that quick section on the 6 personal perspectives? I don't think that was new to some of you, but not all of you. Seen that before? Yeah, you've been
Yeah, I did
been here a few times, right?
once.
Nice.
All last fall or
Okay.
summer or whenever they
Right.
did it, August.
All right, we'll keep pressing. So Kelly Williams is big on mindset. So like we talked about, models and systems are key. So we're going to be focusing on those proven success strategies that we found that have helped other agents be successful. Our job is really just to take advantage of all of those that KW culture has to offer. So we'll go through a few things specific to that. This is MVVBP, mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. So we're going to take a look at that really quick. We are on page, where are we? Yeah, 1.10. Is that where you guys are? Yeah. So let's go through the participant guide there you guys have. So Ignite focuses on helping to build careers worth having. Of course, the intention is to build businesses worth owning as well. So many KW agents have built businesses worth owning and are living great life that they envision for themselves. Many KW agents have grown to the point where they are achieving fulfillment by providing experiences for others and laying foundations for legacies worth leaving. By the end of Ignite, we're going to revisit the mission and explore thoughts on life worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. I think that this has always been like, I love that that's just kind of what drives the company. And it kind of just rolls, mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. That leads straight into the Y4C2Ts is how they explain that. I don't-
Why it's so complicated.
WI4C2TES. Why, but pronounced, but I don't know, it's a great acronym. Y4C2Ts is how they described it. I've never quite got there, but. So part of the MBVBP is the B, which is beliefs, and so we call them this. All KW agents agree to abide by these beliefs because it's the right thing to do. So the first is W, win-win or no deal. I for integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. So going specifically to review the E for equity for a minute. So I've got to read this. Passed in 1968, the Fair Housing Act made it illegal to discriminate concerning the sale, rental, and financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, color, gender identity, and sexual orientation. This law was expanded to prohibit discrimination based on disability or family status in 1988. The National Association of Realtors reminds us that we are stewards of the rights of all to own, use, and transfer property, and that we must protect the free market that depends on equal opportunity. We must hold ourselves responsible to protect housing rights in our country. In addition, being open to diverse clients and their needs is just good business. So throughout Ignite, we're going to present more on how equity, diversity, and inclusion can benefit the business. And there's additional classes as well, kind of in the KW universe regarding this, the color of real estate, unconscious bias, and agent of distinction, just to name a few. And they're all part of that. You can find more info on those on Connect, and we'll talk about Connect in just a minute. So there is an activity. Do we have time for that activity? I don't think we do. Again, I would go back through, guys, because we've kind of got an abbreviated time frame here, but definitely take a look, pick a belief, and just kind of elaborate on that, what that means to you, how you can embody that in your business as well. So, all right. Here's a few things to take a look at related to, for those of you who've been around KW, you've seen these and heard of these, but just to kind of refresh a few of you. We have multiple organizations. Has anybody heard of any of these? Red Day, KW Cares, Kids Can? For the most part. So Red Day, I'll start there. That began in 2009, and it stands for Renew, Energize, and Donate. And that's one day, oh shoot, I always forget. Is it June? I forget. Does it actually say it? Oh, every May. Yeah, that's right. Because I'm always frustrated, like, why do we do this during peak season? But regardless, one day in May, every year, the entire Keller Williams International across the world commits to donating their time in their local community. So typically, Seven Hills over the past several years, we've done different things. We volunteered the full day at Matthew 25 Ministries. We've done that several times. We've worked with people working cooperatively, PWC, if you guys are familiar. So they typically have identified several homeowners in the area that need support. We went out and done projects on their outside landscaping, or literally, undoing like all the years and years of growth around their property. Last year, we were at one of the local parks that needed.
Yeah, we still have freedom.
Oh, well, it was like three, yeah, but I think that's right. So we went to 3 different parks and basically donated our time, because it's all volunteer effort there to kind of help revitalize. So that's a really big one for us. KW Cares is a 501c3. That's just a nonprofit that KW has, and that serves KW associates and qualifying family members. So that's been utilized in times of hardship. I think we've had a few. Seven Hills has actually contributed. I'm trying to think of who offhand, but we've had some things happen inside Seven Hills where KW Cares kicked in and helped some of those agents and their families over the years. And Yeah,
And it was amazing, like how KW Care stepped in.
Helped his family.
Funeral arrangements, they helped his family with money.
yeah.
It was sudden, asked him to sleep, and
Mhm.
it was just amazing, like. KW Care so fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that is based, and that's strictly just contributions. There's drives from time to time, but. Most of us agents contribute a portion of each of our commission checks towards that. I know our team does and Peter does, but. And individual agents do as well. It's definitely a key thing. KW Kids is also a 501c3 nonprofit, and that's dedicated to empowering young adults to unlock their greatest potential through self-development, events, coaching, and scholarships. I haven't worked or been privy to that one quite yet. Has anybody experienced that one at all?
Well, the only thing that I just recently saw in the Bennington Hill, see like coach in Next Gen, which is.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's
Like an extension of that? Yeah, I've seen Next Gen as well, which is like a young leadership program as well, which is great.
But I'm not
Yeah.
sure if.
So, okay. All right, well, we'll keep going. In this section, we're gonna talk a little bit about KW as a global company, your local market center. Since 1983, KW has cultivated an agent-centric, tech-driven, education-based culture. We are the world's largest global real estate franchise by agent count, and we've got more than 1,000 offices and 200,000 associates worldwide. We're number one in units and sales volume in the US. And, you know, obviously we're on the leading edge, I think, of the technology piece. Training culture is a key one. Couple things. KWX is our holding company of Keller Williams. That's a kind of a recent change as of, I think, a couple of years ago. It's composed of Keller Williams International, Keller Managed, Keller Offers, Keller Home Financial Services, which consists of Keller Mortgage and Keller Covered. And those are all really just designed to kind of have a kind of a like a, what am I trying to say? Like a what am I trying to say? Like a agent centric kind of make every agents and clients are at the center of all that, basically. Kind of a one-stop shop, if you will. Let me have that there. Yeah, so this kind of goes into how we rank in those different categories. Seems like there would be more recent updated information than 2021, but I guess that's when the last surveys were done like this. A few of the things we'll hit real quick. This is training and coaching, Connect and Connect Live. Have you guys dabbled with KW Connect at all? If you can check that out, get on KW Command. So you will, if you haven't already, let me. So for example, just so that you know that these resources exist. So Keller Williams Command is kind of a center for all things KW. That's kind of your back end. It's your database. It's your CRM. It's where commissions are processed. But the extension that they wanted us to talk about right now is KW Connect. There is a plethora of training opportunities. There's resources, tools on all different types of scripting, self-study courses. There's typically lives happening from that platform as well. So there's all different types of resources, and you can subscribe to those, browse them, search them as you need to. Go back. There we go. Other events. So family reunion is a large one KW just had back in February. It was in Atlanta this year. That is kind of our key real estate conference that we have each and every year. Anybody attend that? Doug, you were there. Celeste, nice, great. Yeah, definitely an amazing opportunity. Mega Camp is coming up. That is another opportunity that happens down in Austin. So that's where it's more breakout. It's usually a little more intimate, smaller, not quite. I think with family reunions, typically like I think there was 13 or 14,000 of us there in Atlanta this year, which is cool. But Mega Camp is usually a little bit smaller, and so that's in Austin. It's over a couple of days. And there's more networking, there's more breakout sessions, more specific trainings, and that's just another great training opportunity. Has anybody been to Mega Camp?
Going this.
You are going this year? And actually this year, I believe I saw an announcement, they're combining it. In the past, they've done a couple of different. There's been like a mega agent mastermind and then there's big mega camp and they're combining those to bring it all together. So,
They've got early bird pricing until like April. Or 20th, it's like $350 off, so.
yeah. Yeah, I think as you see, we talked about like the 6 personal perspectives and training and being learning based, like there is an endless plethora of opportunity, whether it's through Ignite, different trainings on Connect. Celeste mentioned Bold, which is another great kind of intense, I would say, to some degree, like training based system that gets you KW centric as well. Okay, I went in reverse order. And then there's tech. So Command is that integrated end-to-end side of it, where basically it's like having, is anybody running Command right now, utilizing it? Yeah, great. So it is like having, I would say, sort of like a personal assistant. It helps you stay connected to your clients, potential clients. You can set deadlines, appointments, who to connect with each day, track the progress of every deal, projecting your income, and that's all free as being part of KW. Is anybody using something different? I know we have a different CRM that our team typically uses. We use Command for some other things, but this is a core piece, like having I would say having a CRM in order to run the business effectively is highly necessary, and definitely getting into this and digging into it is important. See. Who's using it currently? You are using it? How is that? Like, what do you use it for? How do you?
I mean, I have my database in there and I do for all my opportunities. I've done my postcards through there. My mailers, it's the least expensive path I've been able to find.
Yeah.
For doing direct mail postcards.
Yeah,
And they're nice.
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna be not so nice.
Right.
because
They're very
they're sort of
yeah.
More affordable, but they're
Yeah.
nice.
There's a lot of integrations with Command, and like Canva is now a suite
Yeah.
that's tied to that as well, that
Yeah.
has its own unique platform.
Yeah, I just upload from Canva.
Yeah,
Now that I know how to do it.
directly in.
And then I've run Facebook ads on it, which is a good lead gen. Kate taught me that, so that was good.
Yeah. Cause that's all integrated and linked as well. So when those leads come in, they flow directly in.
Right, yeah, and it's less expensive than running ads on Facebook, but you can't narrow your audience as much through Command as you can if you run it
Directly.
Directly,
Nice.
but then they don't load, well, they could load if you just put the link in, but, yeah, I've used it for quite a bit. It's good. It's good to see your circles.
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of nice, like, oh, I have 86% of people's,
right,
whatever,
Right.
addresses or something.
database. Oh, like the health score?
Health score,
Yeah.
yeah, or just even like, and then when you do the opportunities. Depending on how you categorize the opportunity.
Right.
Like they're warm or whatever, it kind of shows you projections.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's a great tool. I mean, I think to your point, it's definitely worth.
Neighborhood nurture.
There's so many
My favorite.
pieces to it.
Yeah, neighborhood nurture.
Neighborhood nurture is one of my.
I mean, it's free, it's a little. Needs to come up to 2026.
Yeah.
It's free.
Yeah. And then in that same vein, Command app also puts that in your pocket as well, right? KW Value app, this is the consumer facing side of it. Are anybody using that in their? Familiar with it at all? No? So KW has a great, I mean, I actually use this, I use it with some clients. I also, when I'm traveling, I plug things in if I'm like standing in front of a house and I'm just wanting to pull some information
Yeah.
about it in a different market that I'm not an agent. So that could be really helpful, but in all,
Like Zillow, but
right,
it's just KW.
it's just KW. Yep, exactly.
At all.
A couple things here I wanted to show. This is switching gears a little bit into reviewing kind of the value proposition of KW. These numbers, let me see if they have on yours. Yeah. these numbers are stuff that is pulled or numbers that are pulled for you by the market center each and every month. They, if the data is available, they'll send this out. I think what's also helpful, just to kind of give you guys reference to sheet deleted. So KW7H.com is the brokerage's one of their websites. If you guys have accessed that before, and there's a lot of good references and tools. But another great one is under agent resources, market share. Now I think that they're waiting on some stats still, but there's some great downloadables here. So whether you print them, have them in your marketing packages or for social as well. So it shows market center stats like last year. It can show year in review. It looks like that these are still needing to load.
It compares it to.
Us versus the market.
Yeah. the market,
Yeah. So these are great, like how we outpace. And I think this can also help when you were talking about like limiting beliefs and like your traction. I think that's an important piece. It's not just you. When somebody's hiring you, yes, they're hiring you. And the relationship's important, but if you're needing credibility, like you can stand on the shoulders of the company, the brokerage, the team that you're part of, whatever it may be. So that's beneficial as well. Let's see, we gotta go, we're overtime actually, aren't we? Just about. Finish that, so, okay, another key piece with KW is profit share. And then also growth share, which I actually had forgotten about, so. You've probably heard about profit share. So this is when you joined, you chose a sponsor, right? You chose someone that was your sponsor. So when you chose that sponsor, you automatically became a part of the profit share system. And so you made your sponsor eligible to share in their market center's profit. I guess, does anybody have any questions about profit share? I think that's probably not new to anybody since we're all here, but I can go a little bit deeper in that if we need to. So it's basically meant to. It's completely, entirely, wholly, absolutely passive. It's money you receive without doing anything active. You don't need to become a recruiter. You're not trying to get people in your downline per se. It's a system designed to really share in the profits of the company. What's nice is though, and who benefits you, your family, your heirs, you can actually pass this income, whatever this grows and builds up to, can be passed down to your children or heirs in the future. And it's just your market center and the people you influence, those are the people that are going to be benefiting from it. Like when you bring them in to join KW in that opportunity. Growth share, which I didn't even realize was a thing, is if you help somebody, you can actually recruit people, or if you get somebody to join KW outside the state. So that would be like in Canada or overseas. If somebody joined, there's another model called growth share, which I didn't realize was a thing. But yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay, so additional KW resources. So this is just a quick review, kind of talking about that I keep wanting to say multiverse. That's not the right thing. That's a whole different thing. But basically, the keeping agents and clients at the center of KW. I think that was kind of one of Gary's visions, was having kind of not a one-stop shop. That seems kind of I don't know I don't like that phrase per se, but having these resources and tools kind of at our fingertips. So for that reason, we have there's Keller Mortgage, Keller Managed, Keller Covered, which is the insurance arm, where it's like a marketplace that basically we can help clients go out and get insurance. And then Keller Offers is like an instant offer program. And so the whole intent is to kind of create this, basically you are the center and clients come to you for all the resources. And I think that sometimes we forget about, we close the transaction and the clients move on, and, we kind of drop that relationship, or we don't stay in touch. And these are additional ways that they should be reaching out to us as kind of their resource for all things, whether it's, well, there's no handyman services here, but truly they should be calling us for those types of things as well. So that was kind of Keller Managed is the property management arm of that. I haven't really experienced anything with those guys. Have you?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody that's an agent here, that does property management, I don't know if they use that as a.
Right, as their
resource or-
division,
Yeah. I'd
right.
have to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a new one to me as well, but the other three, mortgage for sure, covered and offers are definitely in play. I can check on the managers.
Offers, like,
Killer offers,
Yeah.
it's an instant, it's like a cash offer, instant offer program.
okay,
Yeah. Yep.
You guys do it in your office, don't you?
Mhm.
It's on your website.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, that's
so how
exactly
does
right.
that work? I'm just curious.
It varies depending on, so like, for us specifically, we just offer to buy any house cash.
Okay.
Stipulations apply. It's very situational based on, it's really to create conversations more than anything.
Right.
What we have and we do, so one of the things, I mean, Peter will, or the team will write an offer, a cash offer on a property. But as we're doing that, we're also collecting all the information from like a pre-qual perspective. What's their timing? What are their circumstances? What do they need? So that we can evaluate and present, okay, yes, here's your cash offer. We're not sending that without evaluating the property, of course.
Right.
But when we're able to do that and get all that information, we can also do a CMA of the property to know fair market value. 99.9% of the time, they're gonna be better served. Like, we can get you a better result, net money in your pocket. Maybe not quite as easy or hassle-free as just a straight cash offer, but you're gonna leave significant money on the table. And in this market, most people are choosing to go to market. Or in addition to that, we also are a partner with Open Door, which anybody here can go and solicit an Open Door offer as well. So that's a secondary. So we'll do a cash offer. We'll solicit one from Open Door if it qualifies for that. And then we can even run it through like our team of 50 agents. So we've got, hey, who do we have as a cash buyer right now? Because there's several of us that are working with investors. So the goal is to create an opportunity, sign a listing. I'm going to get you 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 different cash offers, different options, that sort of thing. Ideally, we list it though.
It's a monkey paw, as they say in sales, which is excellent.
Yeah, it's just, but it also, yeah.
What did you call it?
So the monkey's paw
Oh,
in
yeah.
sales, and it's a great tool.
Makes the phone ring for sure.
Exactly.
Well, it's solving a need, but
Yeah.
the reality is most consumers, like, they don't realize that they can get what they want and not go that route. It's just more about education. It's, because that's what.
Yeah.
We buy houses, cash, whatever, that's what people are attracted to.
People would do that is if they're in a dire situation.
Right. Yeah, well, and sometimes just through curiosity and questions, we can get to the bottom of really what's driving their decision making in wanting that. And we have other solutions that it might take a little more, it would be harder to market that solution in succinct words online. So
Right.
that's where instant offer, submit your information. But if we can have a conversation, we can get to the bottom of like the real challenge and kind of come up with more of a custom solution, if you will. So, yep. All right, here are a few, let me go back, because I'm required to read this. Read the disclaimer. Pursuant to RESPA, which is Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, Keller Williams Agents and Associates must provide an ABA, an affiliated business arrangement disclosure to the consumer at or before any referral is made to Keller Mortgage. Before information on RESPA and the ABA disclosure can be found here or on this link. Inform participants. Okay, yeah. All right, great. So check that box. These are a few of the Keller Williams communities. This is ever growing, but these are just like the not the top 8, but probably the most popular, the most well known. There are different organizations within KW, or I guess they're referred to as communities technically, and they're all have different benefits associated with them, different additional training. Is anybody here a part of any of these?
Not here today, but there is somebody in our group that's part of luxury.
Yeah.
And does the sports and entertainment.
Yeah.
Andrea, thank that.
Yeah. I mean, we have several agents. So we've got agents in KW Commercial, KW Land. KW Luxury. Some of them you have to qualify, you have to do certain things in order to get into them. Some of them require, like KW Commercial, I believe it's just you join and you pay a fee per month, but the training, the networking opportunities within that, the masterminding are very beneficial. KW Military, a few of us are a part of that as well. Sports and entertainment, yeah.
So does the training sort of cost a fee and then,
Each of them are different. Like I'm a part of KW Military and there's no additional fee to be a member of that other than just having served. But like KW Commercial, you pay, I believe it's like 150 a month. You get the designation to be a part of KW Commercial, but it does give you access to, I can't think of the name of the lady that runs that program. Right, there's a monthly mastermind, correct.
It's
Yeah.
leads, it's through the network.
Yeah, I think there's some leads in that network as well. Like KW Luxury, for example, though, I don't believe there's a fee. I believe you have to sell 2 homes of 750 plus over the past 12 months or something like that. So there's more of a qualification, but they can be,
That's luxury.
yeah. Yeah. I think it's they've changed it as prices have risen. I think before it used to be 500 and now I believe the threshold like 750. And I think you have to sell 1 or 2 in a certain time span to be a part of that. So, but it does give you can use some of that branding of that specific market. So if you're going after a certain target market price point, that can be helpful. Yep. All right. We don't have time for a break, but we'll keep going. Oh, this is the more fun stuff anyway here. Okay, so on page 115, 1.15, this gets into, yeah. So it's just like, it's wanting us to imagine and kind of set a vision for 1 year from today, writing the date down in your book there, and like what's happened over the last 12 months. And I think this is the part of not only Ignite, but as you're going through just the business and getting up and running or just recasting your vision is like really envisioning what is possible and what you want out of this business. I think it doesn't have to be dollar amount. It could be the lifestyle. It could be what you and your family are doing. But I think that this is definitely a great exercise to go through. So does anybody want to go through? Let me see. We just don't have enough time to do this, unfortunately. Please do this exercise.
Yeah, I think that's some of Ignite's teaching you have to do.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean,
because it's not enough time.
yeah, well, it definitely, well, I think if we had 3 hours like the
Yeah.
content says you do,
Yeah.
we would have more than enough time. But I think this exercise and moving forward into this big life that's talking about here is definitely a great exercise to go through. So you would take a few minutes, complete the chart. On page 116. I think that I'm going to share something. I mean, the TCGers will have seen it. I think doing this exercise can be beneficial, but also like just throwing some numbers out of like pulling numbers out of a hat is sometimes difficult off the cuff. And so this is kind of a way, probably a little more in the weeds, but this is kind of a way we look at it. Like when you start talking about vision and not just pulling. So like we kind of look at it this way, like it's great to brainstorm and come up with numbers out of thin air, but I think like having from this first page on our business plan sheet, monthly cost of living, like starting to break it down to like look at like realistically, what is my monthly burn or what is my monthly, people refer to it as different things, but what's like my cost of living, just bare bones, like to survive. A lot of times when we're business planning, you're talking about like, oh, I want to make 6 figures. I want to make 150. I want to make 250, but you're kind of pulling it from nowhere. So it's hard to like really it's kind of finding out what's the why behind the what. And so this is an exercise we usually go through and have agents, you know, some people are big budgeters and have these numbers on Excel sheets and all the things, others don't. But this is a great way to think about it, to kind of break down. And part of this, I think the big life exercise would fall into play on letter D, where it talks about determine your financial goals for next year. So looking at like, what are the big ticket? What are the things that I'm really trying to fund? Is it certain philanthropy? Is it certain debt that I want to pay down? Is it volunteer? Is it helping family? So that you can kind of cast that big vision. Does that make sense? Is anyone doing things like this already?
Well, since I'm on the finance chair for the ALC.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful if Jamie's in October?
Oh, geez.
Just planning.
Went through that. Yeah.
Oh, no, sure, that'd be like, we were, we basically, spend an hour and everyone. Like goes to the steps, I was gonna ask you anyways, but around October, that's usually when. I start thinking about Q1, because we're already there. But yeah, I think it'll be super helpful. I always like revamping my business plan because things change every year, but.
Yes, it would be. It's always good to know your numbers.
Yeah.
Your numbers, you're just kind of spinning your wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can do
thank
that.
you.
Perfect. I'll be happy to.
Yeah,
That's probably, that's more in my wheelhouse anyway,
Yeah.
so that's perfect. Yeah. No, that's great. We can do it. If anybody needs to go, cause it's 11, feel free. I'm gonna keep cranking for about 15, 20 more minutes. You're not gonna offend me if you guys need to go, truly. Wait, this wasn't, again, I thought this started at 9. Chris was the only one here at 9.
I don't know what it is,
So, really quick, going through, this is talking about, well, has everybody here earned a real estate commission before? Okay, no. All right, I'll hit it really quickly. So the first thing about commission dollars is just like understanding kind of how they work and how they go. I think it's beneficial. We're on page. You're on 117. Many of you agents get their first check for closing and just kind of believe like, oh, I get all of it. That's not how it works exactly. So we just wanted to kind of go through this and how it would typically break down. So these are just general numbers, of course, but let's see if I can do that. So where do your commission dollars go? So about a third, this is not for the team, but about a third of the commission check goes to the market center, and that's to cover company dollar, franchise royalties, and fees. Okay. Okay. Interesting animation. So after they pay the market center, roughly another third goes back into the business to cover marketing, operating expenses, signs, cars, phone, anything else needed to conduct business.
Taxes.
Yeah, taxes.
Awesome.
That's 20.
I don't love the chunks really. It's not market
They
center,
don't look like a third.
market center,
Yeah.
market center, business expenses. That's taxes.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, again, the key way to think about it is really this next slide. I think that this is a good example. So, how many houses must you buy or sell in the next 12 months to reach your net income goal? And that's kind of what that worksheet there that we provided. In addition, you can use this exercise as well, is kind of reverse engineering the plan, like understanding what your needs are, what your goals are. That builds in. Now, on our worksheet at TCG, we use a 30%, which should be an overestimation as a real estate professional in your tax, the taxes that you'll owe, but it's kind of building that top number to make it larger. So if you look at like, when it's all said and done, you want a net income goal of $100,000, your company dollar and royalty cap. And again, there's variability here based on what your cap and royalty is, but let's say it's 30K. You have business expenses at 50, Your total GCI that you would need to earn is 180K in order to net the 100. And if your typical commission is 9,000, that would be based on a 3% commission. Which we're not price fixing here, it's all negotiable in the state of Ohio and beyond. But if it was an average commission of $9,000, that would be 20 transactions that you would need to hit. Make sense? So that's how we use that worksheet, that front sheet, to kind of estimate what our total net income goal needs to be. And then we work our way on the second sheet on that I provided to you guys, like how your business plan will break down, like how many closed transactions you need. And we take it one step further and actually include our conversion. So if you look on the second sheet, it has, okay, great, I need to sell 20 houses based on average conversions. How many pending sales do I need? How many signed agreements do I need? How many bed appointments, set appointments, contacts do I need? And as you start to track, and that's why tracking is important. When you start to track your business, you'll see what your closing rates are, your conversion rates are. All right, keep going. Let's see what it cares. Okay. Last thing here. This talks about, this is the daily success system that we were referencing earlier briefly. That is more of the accountability and the prospecting piece. This is on page. Yeah, but where did
Yeah.
doesn't seem right? Why?
But I think maybe it was just forgotten.
I know, it's like hidden. Or something.
In my experience, the success systems usually the last few hours of tail ends, but it's so that's the very last part. Like after we cover all the material.
Yeah.
For the class, so weird that is. You probably should do
Yeah.
Well, but why is it out of order? Oh, because it brings us back to. I'm gonna press through, because it's actually. This is where, for some reason, they talk about it here. I don't know, that's weird, this order's up. I didn't create it, I'm just reading. Well, so basically the daily success system is, if you already have your lead gen plan, that's fine. But I think this is a great tool and could be like, don't reinvent the wheel. It's just focusing on this each and every day. And it's 10 conversations, it's adding 10 contacts, it's 10 handwritten notes.
Is that in here?
It is,
Could be, but it's.
I think it's out of order. It's actually. Oh, no, it isn't. It's not in your book.
No.
In the book club.
Yeah,
It is in,
Yeah.
I think we forgot.
Interesting. The 1051 social media piece. That is. Do they explain it here?
Yeah, 10
Yeah.
comments, 5 engagement or messages, 1 post
Right,
a day.
per day. Yeah, this slide seems out of order for me. I'm not sure why. I think more importantly, it's getting into. These conversations here. So we're back in the book now, right?
Yeah.
The lead generate?
Yep. Okay.
I'll have to ask Lindsay about that. I don't know why the success system wasn't there. So, the daily success system, it requires that we talk to people every day. So it's important to know kind of what to say through that process. I think that these are common scripts that you would see like in a normal store. I think like understanding, or like in a customer service kind of environment, if you will. And I think that's why scripts are important to just learn. I mean, because regardless of what when you're making these calls, like not knowing what to say, can be really challenging. I think we put a lot of apprehension into that a little bit, like when we're making these calls as well to our sphere, like, just not knowing what to say, like feeling like we're talking about commission breath or talking about real estate or asking for a referral or whatever it may be. Going into sphere definition, and please help me, sphere, not spear. If you've heard any agents say spear, please correct
Is that
them.
like Villa Tour?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, realtor, exactly. Sphere of influence is just who likes you, who knows you, who trusts you. This is where the bulk of our business is gonna come from. I mean, this is the goal to get there, right? Working with strangers and expanding that network is important, but the larger your network becomes, the more intentional you are about adding your people into Command, into the database, tracking the conversations. Because the reality is you're not gonna be able to keep track mentally of I mean, some of you might. I'm certainly not able to do that, like keep track of the names and the kids and the pets and the logistics and all the things. So using a system in order to do that. One great exercise to kind of go through as you've added your people into Command and starting to update those comments or information about them is thinking through, assuming that these averages hold true, I think it's probably closer, I feel like 5 to 7 years for the average person moving nowadays. But the statistics have shown 7 to 10 years over years and years and years. Looking at who in your pipeline and who in your sphere of influence has moved recently and start like making note of that. And that's kind of how you can prioritize, not that you shouldn't contact all of them, but if somebody just moved, then their likelihood of them moving again may be that 7 to 10 years out. Or if somebody is talking about moving, maybe they're in that middle range, or you know that they moved 7 to 10 years ago. So this is kind of a way to kind of prioritize catching people at the right place at the right time. Now, the best way to take the guesswork out is just consistently being in contact with your people. Is anybody using a system for doing this right now?
So I have a list of like 15 questions. I have all of my past client. Listen, I use a spreadsheet for this, whatever.
Yeah.
How you could do this.
Yeah.
I have all of my clients go on this spreadsheet, all of my past clients, and then I have a list of like 15 questions. And every year, I add people to it, whatever. But then I go through each of those questions for each of my clients and they get a 1 if they meet the criteria, like, do they have a baby? Or do they get married? Whatever. And if they score 4 or higher, then they're likely to move.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be
So
happy
you're
to
like,
share it.
yeah, that's cool. So you're like weighting them, kind of like
Yeah.
giving them points, like
Yeah.
associated with the different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a life changes.
Are you sending the questionnaire? Are you sending that
No.
to them? Oh, it's just through conversations. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I was like, that'd be interesting, like sending everybody a Google input form and having it score. But it's kind of like there is a way. I mean, I've seen agents who do that,
Yeah.
less probably that and more like likes and interests and like, getting information about like important dates and that sort of thing.
I mean, of course, I engage them on social media.
Yeah.
So I am just
Right.
who's gonna be able to know the answer to
Yeah.
most of these questions.
That's
but,
great.
It is really helpful.
That's cool.
And very accurate. Like you can really know, like, when people are getting to that point
Right.
because of the changes in their life, they're going to need to move,
Yeah.
so.
That's cool.
I know in Command, you can put a tag on them, on their like, house anniversary or something like
You can
that.
put any kind of tag.
Yeah.
You can create a tag each person you can add
Yeah,
and make your own tag, yeah.
Yeah. One way to kind of think about it, I mean, for those of us that maybe are not less social, but just maybe more systemized and need a more like a model to kind of think about it, is FORD, which is Family Occupation Recreation Dream. And actually what we typically recommend for our agents is there's a section inside where you can, in our CRM, where you can plug info, and we'll actually like label these, because these are usually the things that aren't changing. If you're logging calls and adding conversations and like the day-to-day stuff, but like this is the type of stuff that's kind of needs to be front and center when you're pulling a past client up in general. So it's like, you know, the current ages of the kids and maybe their names and where they're currently working, you know, recreational things that they tend to do. It's just great triggers as you're going through those sphere calls, whether you're asking for referrals or not. I'll probably, it's maybe blasphemy, but I think like the having a really great conversation, getting all this information, and then trying to close on the back end with, hey, who do you know looking to buy, sell, invest in real estate? I think that's kind of, that's the standard with KW, I think, of asking for a referral, but in just their industry in general, but it seems a little bit disingenuous if you're having a really great conversation catch up. So I think like, I'd like to like frame the conversation separately, like personally, if I'm calling about personal and that's what we're doing, I'm strictly focused on that. If I really do have it, there's a moment that I want to ask, I'll just lead the call with that. I'm like, hey, real quick, kind of more on a professional note, you have a second, I'd like to get into something, or I'd like to ask. I think a great way to ask for referral is when you're actually helping another client. So asking not just an open-ended, like, hey, who do you know? Because that's really like that person helping me. I like to always have either a buyer or a seller client that I'm specifically working on behalf of when I'm asking for a referral. Like, hey, I know it's probably a long shot, but like I've got a client that's looking in the Mason area for a 4-bed home. Who do you know that may be making a move or like looking to sell in that area? And it just 9 times out of 10, they're not going to have somebody specific for that person, but I'm going out of my way. It's just kind of like when you're door knocking. You should be door knocking for a specific client or a family, or there's a specific story around that. I think is a helpful way to ask for referrals as well. Is anybody using something else to ask or get into that? Not weirdness of conversation, but how do you ask, or does it just happen naturally?
I did like, I did that when I did like city tours with a client. And depending on what neighborhood they wanted to see, I just figured out who of my friends lived in that neighborhood and I'd call them and say, hey, who do you know who's looking at, I've taken clients on a tour of
Yeah.
that part of the neighborhood. And it was great because then it was like, oh, Kendall's successful, she's actually working with clients. And, oh yeah, she's a realtor now, oh yeah, who do I know? So it was like triple fold.
She's a what now?
God damn it.
Realtor.
I call
I
her out
cannot
every
say it
time. and
because
that's me.
I could not say it, I cannot say it. I will get it, I will get it.
Hilarious.
It's-
No, that's good. I think you're right. It definitely, well, it just like, it tells them that you are without like being in their face about it.
Yeah.
Cause you're working on somebody else's behalf. And I mean, I would make up a story, but like everybody's working with somebody, or you've got somebody in your office that's looking for a buyer and like you can use that story. So I think that's great. Sure. Yeah. All right. Next session, yeah, so thank you guys for entertaining me for the last couple of minutes there. The last piece, it talks about the daily success system. I don't guess that's still not in your slide deck. No, it's not. So basically what that entails is 20 minutes of role play, conversations with a partner, 10 minutes of preparing a call list for the day, and then 45 minutes of what they call real play, which is it's actually making calls. So it's making contact, having conversations with as many people as you can. And then the last 30 minutes is updating your database with that info that you gathered. I think that's a key piece. And that's what the success, I'll have to talk to Lindsay about why that's not in the books for you guys, or if that's in another portion or something, if it's in the back. You know, does anybody else have?
Is also geared to
Okay,
setting this up, so it may just be.
yeah. But the success piece is really just trying to ingrain the lead generation piece. It's like, this is all great, but like applying what you learn and making the lead gen calls happen. So do you guys have anything, any other questions? Any other topics you want to get into related to Ignite or KW or just real estate in general? Anybody have anything?
Kelly's, she's big, does everyone know Kelly, like who she was? Okay.
Yeah, Kelly Wyatt, general manager. Yep. So that'll be tomorrow. Embrace your job. I'll confirm 9:30. I'm gonna let her know it's 9:30, 9:30 to 11. Yeah, no, it should be really good and yeah, keep showing up. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.